What do the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius of Loyola have to offer the modern world? Good morning. My name is Father Frank Buckley. I am the host of our morning practice, Flourishing During Times of Uncertainty. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Today is going to be a great day. Happy you are here. St. Ignatius believed in the power of repetition, and I am listening to the power of the comments. Many people have enjoyed Father Fagan's book, Putting on the Heart of Christ. So I will repeat for our inspiration this morning how he begins his book, mostly with a focus on what the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius have to offer us today in the middle of a pandemic. If you're new to the morning practice, it's a three-part practice. We always begin with a little inspiration, then we jump into the deep end and do a little 20-minute silent meditation. I'll do a little guided meditation to get us into it, and then we will enjoy our sacred word and the sound of our breath. Of course, always remembering that God is as close to us as the very air that we breathe. And we always finish up with what St. Ignatius believed was absolutely essential to our lives to give it meaning and purpose, and that is a daily examine, where we look back over the last 24 hours and simply notice where we might have missed God, or even more importantly, where God came alive for us. So let's begin with a little inspiration. You picked up this book. That suggests an interest in the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius. You must know that they are being given and made by more people in more places and in more ways than at any other time in history. And you will have come across the astonishing number of books about ways to give them, ways to make them, purposes for making them, and a lot of studies of their dynamic. You can reasonably ask, what else can possibly be said? This book answers that by saying something that is new in several ways. Its explanation of the spiritual exercises does not dwell on their structures or on what experts call the dynamic experienced in making them. Instead, it looks into each exercise to find how it shapes the person praying, and then ask how that affects your life from now on. This life is not a life of piety within the church. Rather, the life it depicts is a life freed of the secularism of our age to live in imitation of Jesus Christ. This book is not about praying in a cocoon, about what happens when you go to a retreat in the hills or join a group praying together through long months. This book is about living out the exercises in our wonderful, exuberant world. Our nation's tendency right now is not only to separate church and state, but to question any valid role for religion in everyday life and the marketplace. The deeply vexed question facing every serious disciple of Christ is how, even whether, to live faithful to Him in a culture of corrosive secularity. The second-rate superior minds of cultivated age, John Stuart Mills argued, stand always in exaggerated opposition to its spirit. If conservative and liberal Christians neither oppose it excessively nor live excessively absorbed by the secular spirit of this cultivated age, are there alternatives? This book faces that squarely. It suggests how you can, indeed that you must, live as an active citizen who is consciously who is a consciously committed disciple of Christ. Thank you, putting on the heart of Christ. And how do we live as a conscious citizen? One way for sure is to have a morning practice. So I am delighted to have all of us here in this virtual community from our Jesuit campus at Blessed Sacrament in Hollywood to come together and to really focus on Ignatius's ideal of becoming contemplatives in action. Personally, I don't know any other way to do this than with a meaningful community. So thank you for joining us today. If you're new, welcome. I believe you've joined the best community in Hollywood. And now we will move into our 20-minute silent meditation. So one of the ways we flourish is to unplug. I will set our timer for 20 minutes. I'll ring the bell to begin and then ring the bell when it's over. Let's begin. Listen, listen, the sound of this beautiful bell returns us to our true home. I invite you to take your shoes off, plant your soles of the feet onto the ground, lower the eyes or close the eyes, whatever feels safe to you. Just turn the gaze inwards. And as always, we begin with diaphragmatic breathing, that is, breathing deeply as possible into our lower bellies to get us grounded. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. Just let the shoulders drop. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Last time. Inhale and exhale. Continue to breathe on your own. Take the attention to the body. Feel the feet pressed on to the green earth. And just notice how solid the earth feels in this moment. Take the attention to the hands pressing on to the lap and become aware of any sensations. Moving up the body, take the attention to the shoulders. Notice how with each inhale they gently lift, and with each exhale they drop. Moving towards the front of the body, we arrive at the heart, the place the spiritual world touches the physical world. And we focus this morning on something that brings our life a little joy, and just name it in one word. Place that word very gently towards the center of your heart. And as a global community, let's breathe one time into the joy. Inhale and exhale. And just notice what you feel. Finally, in the spirit of St. Ignatius, we focus on an intention for our day, something we desire deeply in our life in this moment, being courageous enough to ask God for something great and beautiful today. We seal our intention with an inhale and exhale. Take the attention to the breath. Engage your sacred word. Drop down to the ocean floor and enjoy a little deep rest. Please continue. Mm. Gently bring your attention back to the room. If your eyes were closed, go ahead, open the eyes, circle the wrist one way, then the other. Bring a little oxytocin into the body, rub the hands together, and shake out anything you've been holding on to. Wonderful job, everyone. We did it, 20 minutes. And now we'll move into our Jesuit examine. And here I invite anyone to feel free to add a comment in the box where God came alive for you. And I will just share a few of my own reflections. So, one place God has been alive recently, I very much love our JAM, Jesuit Alumni Mass Liturgy, which is the first Sunday of every month. And throughout the year, we bring in guest presiders and homilists and a little program afterwards. Um, this month, it will be yours truly only, and then we'll pick the program up starting in the fall with guest speakers afterwards. But I'm very excited at our Sunday Jam Mass at 11. I will be preaching on something I've shared with you from Richard Rohr's Contemplative Daily Meditation about this idea of Jesus as a distractor, and especially in the middle of a pandemic, how Jesus might distract us in ways to go deeper and find life even in the middle of a global pandemic. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited. I hope some of you will join me. It would be great to have part of this community there. Second is one of the men living on the streets who has been on the streets for years, uh, just got housing, and he was at the food pantry last night and asked me to pray for him as he's really struggling with sobriety. So I promised him we would pray for him during our meditation practice. So I'm excited he got housing, and let's storm heaven with prayers that he's able to keep his housing and stay in recovery. And then last but not least, my friend Jennifer Chalub and her daughters help out with the food pantry on Tuesdays. And Jennifer is really amazing. She's always full of surprises, and she told me next Tuesday at the food pantry, she's going to be providing pizza for the whole food pantry. So Hollywood will be fed with some of the best pizza in all of Hollywood, which of course pleases me to no end. One, because I love being able to provide people with food who are hungry, but also on a more selfish stance. Jennifer, I'm going to send you this video just so you know my favorite is mushroom and pepperoni. All right, feel free to put your comments in the comment box. We're halfway through the week. It's already been an amazing week. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. God bless you. Have a beautiful rest of the day.